Dear sister, hop in. Ride with me to work. Got something to share with you. I was thinking about my mother a few days ago, and she passed. Now, she passed at 62. And I was thinking about her and the story she told me, probably when she was 60. She went on a vacation. She was retired, so she went on vacation with a group called the Retired Ladies Club, you know, that they put together. And they would go to lunches and go to dinners together and spend time. And I remember she was telling me, she said, you know what, I want to go on this vacation. Me and the ladies club going to go on this vacation. I said, all right, Mom, where y'all going? She said, we going to, I think they went to Costa Rica. And she was so excited about it, and they went on to Costa Rica. When she got back, she was telling me, she said, I got to tell you this story. I got to tell you this story. And she was so excited about it. I said, go ahead, Mom, tell me your story. She said, son, we went to a dinner and we decided that we were all going to dress in white that night. She said, my outfit was so pretty. I said, I know it was, Mom. She said, no, it was beautiful. And I kept on wondering, she was never into like saying stuff like that. So I was wondering like why she is pressing that this thing is so beautiful. And she said, we went to dinner, and she said we were enjoying dinner, and a guy came up to us, and he was doing excursions, and he said, do you ladies want to go mountain climbing? And they all looking at each other weird, like, you know, you kind of see us together, you kind of see that we're having dinner, we're dressed in white, so they're thinking, okay, maybe he's talking about tomorrow, and they're like, oh, let's schedule it for tomorrow, and this and that. So the guy says, no, tonight. And they're like, oh, no, we're not going tonight. Look at us. And my mom said, something in her said, you need to do this. So my mom stands up in front of all the girlfriends and says, I'm doing it. And they're like, oh, so you're going to go back and change and all that? She said, no. And they're looking at her like, you just going to do this in your outfit? She said, yes. She said, Christian, I was so dirty. She said, I climbed the mountain. She said, I got to the top. She said, I was filthy from my neck down to my toenails, son. And she said, I was so happy. And then she started crying, telling me the story. I'm going to try not to cry while I'm telling y'all this story. But she said, I was so happy, son. And I said, why, Mom? And she paused and she looked at me. She said, because it's the first thing I ever did for myself. And it was a pause just like now. She said, this is the first time I ever did something for myself. She says, I got married to your father. I love your father with all my heart. My dad passed at 59, probably 4 years before my mom did. She said, I loved your father. I gave your father everything. I took care of him. She said, then your sister was born, then you were born, and y'all were my life. She said, y'all were my life, and I gave y'all everything I had. I worked, and every, you know, my mom never missed anything. She wouldn't come to my football games because she was scared to see me get hurt. But she never missed anything. She was always at everything, always supportive, super mom. And she said that this is the first time she chose herself. And she said, that's why I did it in my outfit and everything. She said, I wanted finally at 60 years old to do something that I didn't think about, that I didn't ponder about, and it was for myself. And she said, I was so filthy and I was happy. And I never, ever forgot that. 2 years later, excuse me, y'all, it got me. 2 years later, I'm eulogizing my mother. And I was thinking about, like, what would I say? Like, what do you say to eulogize your mother? And I couldn't figure it out until that morning. And I'm walking into this church, and something hit me. It was a scripture that said, Sarah died. Sarah died. And then it came to me that a lot of people talk about Abraham. For some of y'all that are religious or Christians, the scripture talks about Abraham and how he was the father of the faith and the father of many nations. And it said that he would have children as many as the stars of the sky and the sands of the sea. That means that they were uncountable. And and that he would grow this great nation. And we've often grew up hearing about Abraham and all this, but then you grow up enough to realize that there's no way a man can birth something that great without a woman. And in Bible times, the woman wasn't never mentioned. Women weren't honored, so you never mention them. But when I thought about Sarah and I thought about my mom and her eulogy, something told me that's what you teach. Sarah died. Sarah, this woman who was ignored but birthed many nations. And then I sat down a few months after the eulogy and I started penning a book called The Soul of Sarah. Go to christianwinters.com if you're interested. christianwinters.com if you're interested in getting that book. But I wrote the book called The Soul of Sarah. And what God was showing me was that women have two wombs. One in her body, one in her head. Your womb is also here too. And whatever you take in this ear, you begin to germinate and you begin to grow in your mind. This is what makes a woman a powerful gift, sisters. Is that you have a womb right here and you can create anything. You can take something from nothing. It's the same way when you lay down with a man and you make a baby. He gives you a seed. I think I remember writing in the book 1/3,000th of a milliliter. That's what it was. 3,000th of a milliliter is the size of a seed that a man gives you. And then 9 months later, 10 months later, you give him a baby with arms and legs and eyes and a heart and kidneys and lungs and every organ and everything that child needs to grow and thrive and be. And a man gives you a seed that small. It's not to say that the man is insignificant, but it's to say how significant you are as a woman to be able to take something so small and give life from it. And I realized something, that not only do you do that with your body, as a woman, you also do that with your mind. This is why I believe that a woman has to be the most protected creation ever. Because a woman is the gateway. You, my sister, you're the gateway to life. And nothing, absolutely nothing can get in this world without coming through the gate of a woman. The problem is, it's not about men knowing that. It's not about men knowing it. I think that a lot of you women, you spend too much time trying to convince men and your husband and your children, your boss or anybody else around you. You spend too much time trying to convince them of your worthiness. When really the truth is, the person who needs to grab hold of it the most is you. You need to grab hold of it the most. Not because of your hair length, not because of your body type, not because of anything other than the fact that you are a woman. And nobody can be like you, and nobody is like you. And if you don't recognize the power and the strength and the beauty of your womanhood, then you'll always be used and abused by someone who doesn't recognize it. You have to see your worthiness. You can't walk around life trying to prove your worthiness. You have to see your worthiness, because sis, when you start seeing your worthiness, you start making better decisions. When you start really getting a hold of your worthiness, you look back over your life, and there's certain people that you dated that if you really knew your worth, you wouldn't even give them your phone number. But it's about you knowing the worthiness. Now, this is the thing. Even though your womb is your mind, you got to be willing to open your mind to be able to produce anything that you want to. What does that mean, Christian? What that means, sis, that you can't keep on not believing you have the potential to do it. When in the scriptures, when Sarah was told she was pregnant, the first thing she did, or when she was told she was going to have a child, the first thing she did was look at her inability to do it. Now, how many times have you done that in your life where you knew something in your head, you knew something in your heart of what you should become, how great you can be, and the first voice that talked you out of it was not someone else's, it was yours. The first thing you did was look at why you were incapable of doing this thing. Why you were incapable. You looked at your education, your credit, your divorce. You looked at your body type. You looked at your figure. You looked at, or you were reminded of what somebody told you about yourself. Oh, you're ugly. You're unattractive. Or what some ex told you. You'll never be anything without me. Or what your mom told you. She limited you. Or your father never loved you and affirmed you as a woman. There's so many reasons and things that come in your life to talk you out of who you're supposed to be. And I want you to remember this, sis, because that will always happen. It's supposed to happen because that's what strengthens your belief in yourself. Something, every time you tell yourself, I can get this promotion. I can be a better woman than I am right now. I'm going to do this for myself. I'm going to go for it. I'm going to launch this business. I'm going to start this podcast. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Not for nobody else. Not for your kids, your husband, your boyfriend, but for you. It's always something that's beyond you. Then something in you says you can't do that for whatever reason. The first thing that has to happen is you have to open up your womb to believe that the seed of that purpose or the seed of that dream, that you're worthy of carrying it. And I want to say to you, as my sister, you're worthy of carrying that, sis. Because guess what? It wouldn't have come to your mind if you didn't have the ability to carry it. It would not have come to your heart if you didn't have the ability to carry it. You wouldn't have never heard this promise if you didn't have the ability to carry it. You have the ability not only to carry it, but to birth it. So once you open your mind, and I wrote a lot about this in the book in Soul of Sarah. I want y'all to pick it up. It's christianwinters.com. Go pick it up. Christian with a C. christianwinters.com. Go on my website right now. You can purchase that book. The Soul of Sarah. It was right on my website. But once you open your mind to a thing, then once it's in your mind, then you have to nurture it. Why? Because some of you that had children, you then have to take care of what's in you. You can't lose it. Because it's going to change you. This is the thing. You know, when you get pregnant, it changes. Your body begins to react. Your hips widen, your nose widens, everything about you changes. You gain weight. Everything about you begins to change because you are readying yourself to bring something forward. You have to be ready for the change. You have to be ready for the change. You're going to look different when you're carrying a purpose. You're going to look different when you're carrying a dream. You're going to be more tired than you've ever been carrying this thing. And guess what? The people you're around is going to change. Certain people in your life won't be able to handle the different you. I didn't say the new you, because you're the same person. Bad, good, you're the same person. But the better you, the changed you. How many times in your life have you been around people that couldn't stand to change you? You've dated people that couldn't stand to change you. You've had friends in your life that couldn't deal with the changed you. You've had friends and family that couldn't deal with the changed you. They were used to you living beneath yourself. They were used to you living beneath your privilege. They were used to you not being the full you. And understand this, there are not only were some people used to you not being the full you, there were many people that thrived off the fact that you weren't being the full you. In fact, the bound, broken you was a blessing to them, because there are times in your life, sis, where your brokenness benefits other people. And when you go to get better, when you go to grow, when you go to thrive, what they see is the reason they can't celebrate it is because they don't see the better you. They see the you that's about to abandon them because you have spent more time building your life than trying to maintain theirs. So you got to open your mind to receive the seed of what you can become. Then you got to protect it. You got to protect it from people. But this, sis, you got to also protect it from your own mindset. And you know what the mindset says when you receive it and it's in you and you can do it? You know what it is? Then your mind says, I can't continue with this. It's too much. Because changing challenges you. Not only does changing challenge everything around you, it challenges you. It challenges whether you can handle it. It challenges your stick-to-itiveness. It challenges whether you can hang in there and get it done. It challenges your desire for instant gratification. It challenges whether you can continue so you can bring this forth. Just like when you're pregnant. It's cute. The baby bump is cute. But then all of a sudden you got fluid around your ankles. And your nose seems to spread across your face. And right? Things start hurting and your body starts aching. That's when it's like, wait a minute. I can't do this. Sis, if you can receive it, you can carry it on. You can carry it on. Put that in the chat. I can carry on. Put that in the chat. I can carry on. I can do this. I can finish this. Because that's what it's about, sis. It's about finishing. It's about finishing. Look, I won't get into the rest of the book because then I talk about carrying. I talk about birthing. The dream, the womb right here. See, again, what God showed me is that every woman has two reproductive systems, a natural one and a spiritual one, right? And they both operate. And then I also talk about the women who can't birth a child naturally, where you can't get pregnant naturally in your womb. But guess what? That doesn't stop your ability to produce from right here. It doesn't stop your ability to produce from right here. Listen, when Adam was in the garden, it was missing something. That's why God came to Adam and said, it's not good for you to be alone. Now, I want y'all to see this. God was with Adam. God is everything. God was with Adam. And God said to Adam, it's not good for you to be alone. Peep that. God was with him when he said it. Listen, what are you saying, Christian? What I'm saying is, even God knew that as great as his presence was, nothing will be able to fulfill Adam like the presence of a loving woman. Even God knew he needed her. Even though Adam had God, God knew Adam needed the presence of a woman. That's how magnificent you are. That's how amazing you are. You hear what I'm saying? And when you grab a hold of that truth, you will treat yourself better. You will start deciding who's worthy of that. And guess what else? You'll get better as a person. You'll start looking at your flaws and start saying, you know what? I'm better than this. I got more in me than this. I'm greater than the way I treat myself. I'm greater than the way I'm behaving right now. You'll start seeing yourself that way. Look, sis, I love you. You mean the world to me. That's why I started this podcast. Because women need men in their lives who will talk to them with love without the need of anything in return. Every woman needs a male best friend, a brother, an uncle, an old head, a dad. All I could be is your brother. For y'all young girls who don't have a dad, I got daughters. Come on in. I'll be dad too. But you need words that will strengthen you and not strangle you. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, become part of the Dear Sister podcast. Not about me shining. It's about women need this. Share it with other women who are going through all kinds of things. Tell them they got a brother online they can talk to. You can message me, email me at christianwinters.com, christian@christianwinters.com if you got any need to talk, advice. Soon I'm going to do an advice show. Probably on Thursday nights, I'm going to do an advice show where I come online and just give y'all love and advice. Hit me up, y'all. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. You mean the world to me. See y'all soon. Peace.